All right, you guys, let's take a pause. There is a lot happening right now, okay? Bibi Netanyahu is again denying that he murdered Charlie Kirk, despite the fact that no one that I know accused him of doing such a thing. Is that normal for a state leader of a foreign country to have to twice deny that on national television? We also have Bill Ackman, who is sending his press hounds on me. There's no other way to say it. He's also dropping text messages that prove nothing. And a guy named Eric Bolling is just lying through his teeth on PBD, the PBD podcast, to establish this narrative, which for some reason every major publication is now running with, that I haven't spoken to Charlie Kirk in years. That is all happening right now, not because I'm lying, but because we are choosing to stay focused on solving the murder of Charlie Kirk. And what we are uncovering is much darker than I think any of us could have possibly imagined. So welcome back to Candace. We are pulling all of this together and I'm going, I don't even know where to begin. And I guess we should just start with one of many explosive discoveries, thanks to all of you guys, by the way, anonymous sources invested in the story, wanting to get to the truth, having that gut instinct that something is not right. So we've been wondering yesterday. I was also doing an Instagram series of pulling everybody into what doesn't make sense about the changing of the clothes that Tyler Robinson allegedly did. And we've been wondering why it seems that the feds were only willing to release a grainy image of Tyler Robinson from the day of the shooting, despite the tech stack that UVU campus has, right? There's no images that we can see that have been released of his Dodge Challenger that's supposed to be idling nearby the campus for a very long time, right? If he's, as he texted these Fed messages, him and Lance are texting, and he's telling him every second, minute by minute, what he's done. And he mentioned that the cops have done a sweep. Remember, Tyler is supposed to be babysitting the gun in that moment, waiting for the right moment to go back and, quote unquote, retrieve his weapon. But he sees and I'm not kidding, quote unquote, squad car. That's what he writes, right? He writes, I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. Squad car. Okay, yeah, no. How many times do you call a police car a squad car? Do you want to know who calls it a squad car? Someone on the squad. Well, that's how that works. Yeah, but that's what Tyler writes, squad car. Elsewhere in this correspondence, and by the way, thanks to one of you people who commented on yesterday's episode and pointed this out to me. But elsewhere, Tyler says something that only a woman would say. That's why it didn't flag me as weird when I was reading this, and it flagged me as odd. He says to Lance, allegedly, quote, I worry about Prince. I had to leave it, referring to the rifle, in a bush where I changed outfits. Wait, changed outfits? Somebody commented, men don't say outfits. That's a woman thing. Okay, yeah, that's true. I would say I changed my outfit. A man does not say, you just say you changed clothes. You would not say an outfit. Outfit is very girly. Okay, so is this AI or is this a female Fed that put these messages together? We're not feeling like it's Tyler Robinson, that's for sure. Now, another question we ask is if there is this much available footage, why not to relieve everybody, to make us feel like this is not a federal operation? Why not just release anything to the public? Well, the reason is because according to locals, many of which have emailed me, any of the footage that they had, any footage that they found, they immediately sent over to the feds, and the feds told them that they were not allowed to share it at all. Like there was some risk. If you shared this at all, it's not going to be good for you. Like they are kind of being pressured by the feds not to share things publicly. And that's why I would say 9/10 is beginning to remind me of 9/11, right? The feds sweep through everything to make sure that they have all of the footage so that no one can question the narrative that they put out. It makes me think, how long did it take before they were willing to show us any footage of the alleged giant Boeing plane that hit the Pentagon building? We weren't allowed to see that for a very long time. I think someone actually in Congress had to fight to get any footage released. And you had people that were saying, no, it was a missile. Well, they swept everything nearby. So that's what this is kind of reminding me of, a Fed sweep. They pretend that they want more information, but in reality, they want to make sure that they have all of the information, all of the footage, so that they can control the narrative. Except sometimes things don't go as planned. Because before people realize they have anything, or maybe when they're trying to reach out to the feds, they're texting a friend who texts a friend. And the next thing you know, the whole neighborhood in all of Orem has something. And this is what happened. Something made its way around the entire town and into my tips line repeatedly. It is a very clear image of Tyler Robinson, allegedly taken, I'll say allegedly for safety here, but it's looking right according to my timeline, allegedly taken at 6:38 p.m. at a nearby Dairy Queen. Here is that photo that we can show you. Just take a look at this photo. What is wrong with this picture? A lot is wrong with this picture. First and foremost, 6:38 p.m., you just shot someone. You have gone through great pains to hide your face, to change your outfit. But wait, you didn't fully change your outfit, did you? I'm looking at this photo, and you're wearing jeans and you're wearing the maroon shirt. Now we have a 50-50 combo of the outfits. And now you're showing your eyes and you're not fearful at all that you might be recognized. Also, wow, you must have quite the stomach. You don't have a record. Next thing you know, you shoot someone and you're like, I'm just going to go have a meal. You don't seem to be too shaken or too upset. Something problematic is the location, by the way. We mapped this out. It's about 15 minutes away from the campus at a time when we're told that he's idling by, babysitting the rifle. So you can see, we're showing you, it's about a 17-minute drive away from the campus. So there should be a lot of footage then of this Dodge Challenger driving back and forth. Okay. And like I said, the biggest thing that jumps at me is he looks kind of content there. So he's got to be a full-blown psychopath, wearing half of what the feds told us he was wearing in the morning and half of what the feds told us that he was wearing during the shooting. Okay, so why did he text in this exchange at all and say that he changed outfits? When you've just said, I changed my t-shirt, if that's the reality, you just changed your t-shirt and that was enough? Was it just a t-shirt that he changed? The outfit, again, as I sensed yesterday, has always been problematic. I feel the outfit was the Fed mistake. It never made any sense to say that he wore an outfit onto campus, light khaki shorts and a maroon shirt, and then decided to completely change hours later. Because why wouldn't you just change the t-shirt? That actually makes more sense. Every kid wears blue jeans. You don't have to change blue jeans or change out of khaki shorts to avoid detection. That's not going to go, hey, we're stopping you because you're wearing blue jeans. That's not a thing. It would make much more sense if he had just changed his t-shirts. And like I said yesterday, if you were going to change it all, why did you have to leave campus to do that? And shouldn't the cameras have caught you either way? You take a totally different route. Again, there's cameras everywhere. So we can now plot this change, this alleged Dairy Queen stop onto our timeline, right? We can see that right there. We were very accurate when we started getting really serious about looking at a timeline. I like a clean timeline. We said the first correspondence that allegedly took place between these two had to have taken place between Tyler and Lance after 6 o'clock p.m. Well, there we go. 6:38 p.m. We get this confirmed photo, or I shouldn't say a confirmed photo, an alleged photo of Tyler Robinson buying food at Dairy Queen off campus on the other side of town. And that's where we can assume, I mean, campus is supposed to be on lockdown. Is this supposed to be a manhunt? That's where we can assume these text messages or around this time where Tyler Robinson is signifying that he's close to the scene of the crime. That's where we should be able to find more footage of his vehicle. Maybe you are a shop along this way near that Dairy Queen, and you should check your footage to see if around this time, 6:38 or else, that you saw a Dodge Challenger go by. Source tells me that they saw him dropping, near this Dairy Queen, that there's a cemetery, and he was dropping clothes into that cemetery. Now, we have not gotten anything from the feds about where the clothing was dropped off, where he changed, nothing. My question then is, what is going on? My suspicion, I maintain, is that there are multiple people that are involved. And after receiving this, that suspicion is growing. Okay? Like I said, unless that man is a cold-blooded killer, he just seems to be la-di-da, eating some Dairy Queen, and it's not making sense. Now, there is something that another local told me that the locals are discussing that they believe actually took place, and it rings a lot truer to me, a lot truer than anything that I've heard thus far from the feds. And I'm going to tell you that in a moment. But first, I decided to sort of hyper focus on the doorbell cam footage, right? Because that mysteriously made its way to TMZ the morning after Charlie's assassination. What time did that footage make its way? Just so I can take a look. I'm going to go on to day 2 here. When did TMZ release the footage? Well, I don't know exactly the exact day they released the footage. I think it was, their footage said that at 8:07 a.m. TMZ is the first on September 10th that tells us that there is doorbell cam footage. But I actually want to see when TMZ released it. So can you just put a note for me, Skylar, that I want to look up when TMZ announced it? I feel like it was in the morning. Okay. And so I started asking myself, like, where did that footage come from? Right? We should look into that. Let me just say this right away. As a rule, when a tragedy happens, I don't love the people who have the instinct to immediately speak to the press after a tragedy. What I mean to say is that imagine you're on campus somewhere, a shooting happens, students are screaming, they're running, somebody is dead. I feel that a normal person's instinct is to make sure their loved ones are okay in their immediate vicinity, make sure they are okay, obviously, and then to call and alert everyone who would be concerned that you're okay, right? Maybe your mom's texting you, like you're going to get on the phone first with like your mom and dad. You're not going to get on the phone with TMZ. You're going to speak to the press first. I don't think so. So it's always a good question when you sense that something is wrong, as I very much sense right now with the Charlie Kirk assassination, to go back and reflect on who opened up to the press with information. Look, if you've been a longtime listener of the show, the mainstream media has been controlled by the CIA since Operation Mockingbird. And so I addressed that question. Who is it that gave the footage to TMZ? Why TMZ? Whose instincts would it be to give the footage to TMZ? If you're really just a person living out in Utah, surprised by everything, why are you giving it to like TMZ, which covers celebrity gossip out of Hollywood, right? The New York Post, that's supposed to be a local paper, a local news source. Why would you hit up the New York Post? Which Utah citizen thought of TMZ first? Was it them or was it the feds? Well, we were able to stalk that, okay? We were able, because gratefully, one of the individuals who owned the house spoke to a local news station the morning after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. His name, you're going to see, is Irwin Steele. Let's watch that footage of Irwin Steele the next morning.
Kathy Beckel led us to her backyard. She says police searched this area for the suspected gunman and his weapon. Just a few streets over, Irwin Steele was another neighbor who was met with officers in his front yard.
It was scary. I know it's been said many times, but this is a safe place. This is a calm place. We're right next to, the largest university in the state, but at the same time, they're generally good people.
Steele says they're helping authorities by giving them any footage they have on their outdoor cameras, but he says it's still startling to know the gunman could have been so close to their homes.
We have students going up and down the street all day long, and it's never been a threat to our safety. And so for something like this to happen it's shocking. It's really shocking.
Seems like a good guy. I have no beef with him. Immediately, actually, I was wondering, why were we ever told that it was doorbell cam footage? It obviously was not doorbell cam footage. It's too high, hence, the height of the footage in general. Secondly, like I said, this clip is from the morning after Charlie Kirk's assassination. So TMZ had already publicized that footage. And so that strikes me as a little odd. That would stipulate that either the feds, like I said, collected that footage the night before and then immediately gave to TMZ, or this guy himself gave it to TMZ before he gave it to the feds. So we're looking into Irwin, and we find that he doesn't just co-own just that one house on the street with somebody else named Samuel Steele. But Samuel and his wife, Carrie, are the ones that own the house that gave the footage, not Erwin. But Erwin is saying that he lives in that house, but actually we found some other Steeles that live in that house. And I'm wondering, okay, that seems a little bit confusing. Maybe you're all family. You just go, oh, okay, well, we kind of own all of these houses, whatever. But that strikes me as a little bit odd. I decided to look a little bit further to see like what it was that he was in. Like, you know, what business is your family in? And it turns out that they work for an engineering place, a place that makes called Caldera Engineering. It's a company called Caldera Engineering, and ostensibly they manufacture valves. Okay. Now that stood out to me because I just find that the manufacturing of valves keeps coming up when I look into certain people, because, you know, I'm all about the genealogy, and I could name 3 people that I got curious about whose family manufactures valves. I don't know if that's a big business out in Utah. Also in Canada, when I was looking into Harley Pasternak, that's exactly what his family did. They were in piping and valves. And I'm going, okay, whatever. A local source told me that virtually everyone on that block works for that company. The Steeles are a big family in Orem. Okay, fine. And it's like, yeah, that's something that our source, we have a very good source, said that whole block is pretty much employees of that engineering company, Caldera. Okay, just put that in the back of my mind. Looking for some other witnesses. I decided witnesses pertaining to Tyler Robinson. We have a second witness, and her account is kind of confusing to me, and I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, her last name also happens to be Steele, but this one witnessed something 4 hours away. Her name is Sherry Steele, and she spoke to the BBC about how she had witnessed the police swarm the townhouse of Tyler Robinson and Lance while she was walking her dog in the evening. Here is what she says. I'm going to read it directly here from the article. This is from the article. It reads, Sherry Steele, who lives across the street from the residence, came back from an evening walk to see a large police presence. In a video that she showed the BBC, for some reason the BBC is not publishing this video, a loud voice, which she said belonged to the authorities, can be heard shouting, "Freeze!" and "Come out now." It just kind of blows your mind coming up the street, and all of a sudden there are helicopters above your house, Ms. Steele said, adding that she had never spoken to Mr. Robinson. Okay. Couple of things that don't work about that testimony to me. First and foremost, doesn't work with my timeline. I really care about my timeline here, okay? She says she's walking her dog in the evening. We are told by the feds, well, 33 hours should have been nighttime, right? Their 33 hours should have been 9 p.m. Is when Tyler Robinson, that turned himself in. But then we found out from other sources that actually it was more like 7 o'clock p.m., you know, feds are saying 33 hours, that's 9 o'clock p.m. Certainly wouldn't describe it as an evening walk with your dog at that time. And by the way, at that time, according to our source, they didn't move at all, okay? We're supposed to believe that it was overnight that they brought in Lance, and then, according to Lance's own family, it was overnight that they... after bringing Lance in around 11 o'clock p.m.-ish, right? And then overnight is when they then swarm the household and then go through everything. So what's going on here? Second thing about Sherry Steele is I can't find her. We stalked. We looked through databases. We contacted Lance's family to see if they're familiar with that name. I cannot find a woman named Sherry Steele that lives in that building complex, nor can I find her alleged footage that the BBC mentions the following morning. Just putting that out there. But let's move on, because there are going to be 2 more Steeles, this time minor children. We do know, according to the indictment, that there were children that were there for the shooting. And these children, like I said, are going to provide an eyewitness testimony to Charlie Kirk's shooting. And they are with their aunt, Tiffany. And they say that they saw what happened up close. And I believe you're going to hear them say that they were a family of 16. So like I said, my source says there are a ton of Steeles that are in Orem. Here is what these particular Steels told Good Morning America in the early hours following Charlie's assassination, like the next day. Take a listen.
We're joined now by Tiffany Barker and her nieces Elle Steele and Mia Grant, who were all in the audience yesterday afternoon. Thank you for joining us this morning. I know it's been a difficult day for all of you right now. And Tiffany, let me begin with you. Just tell us what you remember about the scene yesterday.
It was horrific. There was one shot that rang out, and everybody instantly looked around and then fell to the ground. People saw Charlie instantly get shot in the neck, and everybody fell to the ground, and then people started running and got run over. And I was with my family. We had 16 of us there, so 5 adults and like 11 children. And we instantly got separated. We're trying to find everybody, and we had amazing Good Samaritans that grabbed kids. One took my niece and took her to her apartment. Somebody grabbed these 2 and my daughter and took them over to the tennis courts and stayed with them until I came. It was a super awful tragedy, and there were really good people that stood up and supported each other, and it was actually really powerful to see that.
Elle and Mia, I can't imagine how scared you must have been yesterday. What can you tell us about what you all remember? Elle, you go first.
So I remember hearing this thing. It was hard to know what it was, but then I saw it, and I saw blood everywhere, and it hit his artery, and then I fell to the ground. I covered my head with my hands, and then I just started saying a prayer, and then we all ran. We sprinted away, and we ran away and then we met at the tennis courts, and then we couldn't find anyone. It was just me, Mia, and then my other cousin Bella, and then we were calling everyone. We didn't know what to do, and then we finally met up with them, and it was just so scary.
I'm sure. Mia?
I remember that we were 15 feet away, and I thought the shot was like a firecracker or something. It just didn't seem real. After that, we went behind where Charlie Kirk was, and then we were meeting up at the tennis courts and trying to find everyone and get everyone together. And Charlie Kirk was such a good guy. I'm gonna miss him so much. I've always watched all of his videos, and
I can't imagine what you all went through.
America's gonna miss Charlie Kirk.
Can't imagine what you went through yesterday. Thanks for sharing your stories this morning.
Okay, so I was just interested in the family more broadly speaking. I can tell you the family's very heavily involved in politics. That woman that you are looking at, her father was a businessman turned councilman. Sister ran for lieutenant governor. They're also featured in another incident. She kind of pops in the news a lot with a mayor. So by all accounts, asking locally, they're a good family. They're heavily involved in politics, but the right side of politics, as I would say, as somebody who was a conservative, I think that was kind of maybe stripped there, trying to learn more about these individuals. For me personally, I don't love the idea that at this time, the killer is still on the loose. They had nothing at this time. And I'm just going who would allow their kids back onto that campus that survived a shooting and to go speak to the news the next day when the killer was still on the loose? But I don't need to, I guess, judge the actions of parents. What I do know is we're not getting the full story, okay? And I reached out to those individuals, by the way. I asked them to speak with me. I want to learn more about what they witnessed. I want to learn more about what they say that they heard and what they saw, what happened afterward, what the setup there is on UVU campus, what time they went there. I want to know everything because I just spiritually know that more people are involved, okay? Now let me tell you something about what the locals are theorizing. And like I said, it's the first thing that has made sense to me, okay? They are telling me that something which you will recall, the first people that got out the map of everywhere to look, and this is where the shooter walked, and this is what happened, and here's our diagram of where everything took place, and he ran to the woods and he grabbed the gun, but we're not really getting too many details about where he got that gun from. We're just kind of told in the woods. And this person tells me, actually, the gun was found in the backyard of someone that I know. We all know each other. And it was found by a chicken coop. Like, you could describe it as a wooded area, but, you know, it's pretty suburban here. And it was found by her chicken coop. The locals are theorizing. Again, we have no proof of this. But this is what they are saying, is that they're not being honest about the fact that the house right next door to where the gun was found is a mysteriously vacant home that is owned by the university itself, and that is where they believe that the true shooter ran to following the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They think, and again, they're floating a theory here, that Tyler Robinson was instructed to merely drop off his gun, okay, walks onto campus to simply drop off his gun at the chicken coop place. So I'm going to show you that. Do we have a map of that vacant property and where the gun location is found? And he says you'd have to be an insider to know that the general direction that that person is running, even though they're very close, similarly would lead him to the vacant home that we've all kind of had questions about. You know, it's kind of been vacant for a while. And actually where the gun is found, it's just two different places. So his theory is that Tyler Robinson, and this would definitely align with our decoy boy, right? I did it. Oh, actually, it turns out that I have child pornography, is that Tyler and Lance could have gotten mixed up in some deep internet stuff, which makes sense because, as we have learned, Lance is deep on the web, and that they were actually instructed, maybe they're getting out of the situation. Again, we are in full theory zone. I'm telling you what I'm hearing from locals. This is not Candace Owens' theory, but this would make more sense to me, that these were just guys that said, okay, if we found something weird on your camera or weird on your laptop, here's what you're gonna have to do to get out of this. Maybe they're being blackmailed or threatened, or you're gonna go to prison for a very long time. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take this weapon and you're gonna walk this weapon and you're gonna leave this weapon right here, okay? And that's it. Then you're gonna busy yourself elsewhere around, and we will tell you what to do next. That's their theory about Tyler Robinson, okay? And that then the real shooter is an entirely different person who actually went into what they would describe to be a safe house of sorts. Putting it out there. And I can tell you that we are now prodding that narrative and asking if you are a person who has any footage and you have been instructed not to give any footage whatsoever. I don't know. I can't understand. If you own the property and it's yours, I don't know how they can tell you it's not yours anymore, since don't forget, Governor Cox said it's all wrapped up. It's over. We've got him. Move on. I don't see how you showing us a Dodge Charger that you saw driving by would be problematic. So, yeah. If you know anything, please email tips@CandaceOwens.com. We are going to get to the BB that doth protest too much in just a moment. First, going to throw it to some of our sponsors. Riverbend Ranch, everyone, like I told you, has wanted to do something to try and heal and remember Charlie Kirk. My friends at Riverbend Ranch put together the following tribute to honor him. Take a listen.
We pay tribute to Charlie Kirk, and we celebrate the tremendous good he did in his life. Charlie courageously advocated for the sacred principles of freedom, constructive discourse, truth, family values, and common sense. He taught with humor and wisdom, and backed up his beliefs with data and facts. He set a powerful example of reaching out and talking to those who disagreed with him. We mourn his passing, but what he taught us continues to resonate with even more power.
A message from all of us at Riverbend Ranch.
I actually met the owners of Riverbend Ranch with Charlie. We went out there and met them. Fantastic family. Also want to tell you guys about American Financing, because if you've been living on credit cards just to cover groceries, gas, and bills, you know those interest rates are brutal. So why keep paying that 20% or more to the banks when you could call my friends at American Financing? They have mortgage rates that are in the 5s, and they are showing people every day how to keep more of their hard-earned money in their pocket and out of the hands of the credit card companies. Right now, American Financing is helping homeowners save an average of $800 a month by using their home equity to wipe out high-interest debt with no upfront fees, no obligation, and just a 10-minute call to a salary-based mortgage consultant. And here's the kicker. If you start today, you could delay 2 mortgage payments, putting even more cash in your hands right away. So do not wait. Call American Financing now, 800-795-1210. That's 800-795-1210. Or visit americanfinancing.net/Owens. That's americanfinancing.net/Owens. Also telling you guys about Field of Greens because, look, I knew we all have 2 ages, our actual age, and then there's our body's internal biological age. What I didn't know is I've likely lowered my biological age without even knowing. And here's the thing. It's because Americans eat so many processed foods and not enough fruits and vegetables. Many people, perhaps most, are 10 plus years older on the inside than their actual age. A major university study suggests how to slow down aging. Participants slowed their aging by drinking Field of Greens. That's all they did. They didn't change their eating, drinking, or their exercise. They just had Field of Greens because each fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected for specific health benefits: cell health, heart, lungs, kidneys, and metabolism, even a healthy weight as well. I feel great knowing that Field of Greens can slow how quickly that I'm aging, and I encourage you guys all to join me. Swap your untested fruit, vegetable, or green drink for Field of Greens. Check out the university study, and you'll get 20% off when you use promo code Candace at fieldofgreens.com. Again, that's fieldofgreens.com, promo code Candace. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've been through a lot of media attacks. You name it, I've been through it. This is another level. Okay, this is like, it's like there's a thirst there that I've never seen. They are all parroting the same talking points. They're clearly collaborating. I can tell you it's a Zionist attack. I've lived through enough of them. This is what they're like. And they all kind of say the same thing, slightly different. And the idea is to pile up and hope that if people keep seeing the same thing, they'll just believe it's true. And of course, Bibi Netanyahu, defending Bibi Netanyahu seems to be at the center of it all. That Zionists control a lot of publications in America. That is just a reality. We can even go through that. It's a little weird that I have never said throughout discussing this case, which I care very much about, that Bibi Netanyahu murdered Charlie Kirk. Tucker Carlson never said that. Megyn Kelly never said that. Dave Smith never said that. Instead, what we are doing is we are disputing Bibi Netanyahu's narrative that him and Charlie were on great terms and really friendly. He had just invited him out. And here's this love letter Charlie wrote. He heavily implied that. And he was saying way too much, too fast, and too soon. That didn't feel right. And we just wanted the truth to be out there. I don't know who specifically came out and said that Bibi killed Charlie Kirk. But now that he's for the second time denying that he is, people are going, what's actually going on here? This is weird. When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I didn't feel compelled to come out and make 2 videos to tell people that I didn't kill him. That would be weird. Like, you would be like, Candace, that's very strange. Why do you feel like you need to say that? If Tucker Carlson had to make 2 videos saying I didn't kill Charlie Kirk, you would go, that's weird. Megyn Kelly, I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Why would she do that? Of course she didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Well, Bibi has come out, like I said, with his second statement, and we can listen to it. Take a listen.
Joseph Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda minister, said that the bigger the lie, the faster it will spread. Well, somebody has fabricated a monstrous big lie that Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's horrific murder. This is insane. It is false. It is outrageous. Charlie Kirk was a giant, a once-in-a-century talent who defended freedom, defended America, defended our common Judeo-Christian civilization. Charlie loved Israel. He loved the Jewish people. He told me so in a letter that he sent me just a few months ago. One of my greatest joys as a Christian, he said, is advocating for Israel and forming alliances with Jews to protect Judeo-Christian civilization. He encouraged me to make the case directly to the American people about how vital Israel is to U.S. national security. He told me, the Holy Land is so important to my life, it pains me to see support for Israel slip away. Now, if Charlie disagreed with a policy of mine or a decision here and there, not only did I not mind, I welcomed it. This is the essence of Charlie. This is the essence of a free country. It's exactly what Charlie stood for. And I knew that his suggestions always came from the heart, from his love for Israel and from his love for the Jewish people. A few weeks before his death, I spoke to Charlie. I invited him to visit Israel again. And sadly, that won't happen. Now some are peddling these disgusting rumors, perhaps out of obsession, perhaps with Qatari funding. What I do know is this: Charlie Kirk was a great man, and a great man deserves honor, not lies. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing.
I don't know, guys. That Israeli propaganda just ain't hitting the same. It's just not hitting the same. I feel like it was hitting in 2018, but like this is just not hitting. Gaza's not helpful. You talking about a free country, Gaza just kind of being bombarded because you want to make a beachside place vacation for your friends. It's not feeling good. And we can see what you're doing. We do know you are a cold-blooded murderer. Looking at what's happening in Gaza, there's no question about that. How many kids have been murdered, okay? And you're, again, saying too much. I don't know why you don't seem to be able to get through a speech without lying or implying a lie. Who specifically, Bibi, is funded by Qatar? Maybe, don't just maybe Qatar. In fact, you are the one, your administration is the one that has been under investigation for taking money from the Qataris. It was actually related to Gaza. So, and what you were going to do with Gaza thereafter. So why are you saying that about Americans? If we were taking money from Qatar, it wouldn't be a problem according to your administration and your cronies. So what's this about? I was so hopeful that you would be able to get through that speech without mentioning the Holocaust, but that was kind of the opening liner. Joseph Goebbels said, bro, Joseph Goebbels has nothing on the Zionists in America and the propaganda that they have pushed. I got to tell you, that's the reality, okay? Let's go before him. Let's go to Sigmund Freud, how you guys created this system of propaganda. Who's the real father of modern propaganda, okay? It's the Freud family. We're awake to this. We see what you guys are doing. And you're not making people feel comfortable with the fact that you keep coming out to have to deny something that certainly wasn't asserted by me on this program. And you're doubling down on your lie. I told you to publish the full letter that Charlie wrote you, not lines of it, okay? It's a lie by omission. And to stop mentioning the fact that you invited him to Israel just 2 weeks ago without mentioning the fact that he declined to go. Am I lying? Can anybody actually work and assert that I am lying? You can say my name. Candace Owens lied. Charlie said, I'd love to go to Israel. Charlie said, I'd love to have you on my radio show. And for some reason, that seems to be a common theme, that they have sent the hounds out, but they're unable to actually dispute the words that are coming out of my mouth. You have Bill Ackman, extraordinarily. I said, I will publish whatever it is that you say, Bill. You can come on the program. We can talk about that trip to the Hamptons. He just kind of, which was, by the way, you guys on Instagram were so funny. I didn't even have to say anything. You guys just saw right through it because we're all awake. He just, I guess, shared text messages with Charlie Kirk to dispel the claims of, you see how it says, blackmail in parentheses, but they put Israel. I never said Israel blackmailed him. I never said that. Okay. And in fact, somebody that was at the Hamptons published a statement and said that Charlie said he felt morally blackmailed. Okay. So that doesn't help your case. But anyways, Bill Ackman published these private text messages, and I guess that just was supposed to dispel the idea that anything happened in the Hamptons. And yeah, actually what's missing from these messages are like a date, a context, and they don't dispel anything that I have asserted. Okay? So what's going on here? Then they trot this guy out, Eric Bolling. He goes on the PBD podcast, and this should be embarrassing. Like, the amount of lies coming out of this man's mouth was astounding, okay? But they ran with it. The New York Post, right? Outfit of the Mossad, outfit of the deep state, ran with it. Charlie Kirk had a breakup with Candace Owens, like as if we were dating. Let's listen actually to what Eric Bolling had to say on the PBD podcast.
At some point, her credibility, is going to go down the tubes because she needs to bring receipts. Bill Ackman brought receipts. How long was that tweet?
It's still going. I think
he was there in the room.
Reading it.
Andrew Colbert was there in the room. You're on the board of Turning Point?
Yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Candace Owens?
In person?
Yeah.
2015,
Oh,
2016.
wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah. No,
When's the last time she was at a Turning Point event?
Not in many years.
Okay.
But
so let's
you don't
without even being
Adam.
biased.
There's
Candace even involved in Charlie Kirk's life at all?
No question proof that Candace Owens is nothing. has nothing to do. She would be in a perfect world if they didn't have this. What I already know was a very quiet breakup where she got too rabbit hole for him. She would be the logical heir to the TPUSA throne, but she's
and
not.
now she's not even invited.
Correct. So this is so their divide is.
Wait a minute, not invited meaning
she's not even there.
Yeah, she's not there. One of the names that
you don't think she'll be at the funeral?
No.
That's
I mean,
not the funeral.
The heir to the TPUSA throne.
She doesn't speak at the events anymore.
I mean,
so that's just what it's so good for this to happen because you guys are watching everything that I'm saying and you can watch them lie. Eric Bolling, I just don't even get this one. How can you say that I have not spoken at a Turning Point USA conference in years when I literally went on tour with Turning Point USA on college campuses last year? Like that's just incredible. You didn't know that I went, I was on tour for Turning Point USA last year. You don't remember that happening at all. Okay. Then I get fired from the Daily Wire. Turning Point USA is the first to issue a Christ is King statement of support. Then I do, what was it, the YWLS conference right after that. So let's just actually bring this in. What you are referring to, which is kind of a part of the story that we're telling you, is that the Zionists started circling Charlie and trying to control things. This was actually in the around September or whatever. And I was always very honest that Charlie and I had a conversation and they were putting pressure on him. You can't talk to her. She's talking about Israel. Blah, blah. I said, Charlie, I am under so much fire right now. Do not even, I'm like radioactive. Don't even worry about the conference. I have to rebuild my whole life. I have to figure out how to get my podcast back on the road. I literally, I'm banned from Australia because I stood up to Zionists. Like I have so much going on. For me not to speak at AmpFest is nothing. Like that doesn't even mean anything. Save yourself, okay? It means nothing to me. Tell them whatever you need them to tell them. And I'm going to focus on trying to rebuild my life because they also had me canceled from YouTube. Remember all that stuff at the end of last year? It was insane. Then I came back bigger and I came back stronger because at the end of the day, the truth will win against lies. That's the message. And so the reality is that then they came inward because that's what Zionists do. They started putting more pressure on him. And this time they didn't want just Candace Owens. It was Tucker Carlson because Tucker went to AmpFest. And then they said that can't happen again either. And Charlie started realizing which way the wind was blowing. And in fact, in the very week that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, he was saying that he wanted me back on the roster. That's where his mindset was at. You cannot dispute any of this because it's real. This is then suddenly he gets a Schulman guy is the one that said, I want my name off of the building at Turning Point in the 48 hours leading up to his assassination, the couple of days leading up to his assassination. They were squeezing him, trying to control who he was allowed to speak to. And that started in real earnest, I can tell you, in Q4 of last year. And then Charlie had enough. And I've got a lot more that's going to come out about what happened at Turning Point. It wasn't just that. They were spiking the ball, where they were spending the money. It was almost like they just wanted to take over the company that he had built and turn it into just another outfit of the Mossad. Like that's the information that I have, and I want to make sure that I properly vet everything and go through everything. That's what it looks like, and it's going to come out. Okay, so your little talking points and the lies people can look up and research and see that's not true. And that's your big LOL point. Like, oh, well, the proof of this is she's not speaking at Charlie's honoring Charlie event in Arizona. And then they ask me these questions. They're like, when's the last time you spoke to Erica? Have you attended a Charlie Kirk? What is it? Can you pull up the weird thing? Because they're all running with these talking points. This is what we got from the Daily Mail. Is she planning to attend his memorial service in Arizona? Was she asked to speak? Or did she ask to be a part of the program? Why would I ask to be a part? Like this is obviously Erica is in like full control. I would hope she's in full control, but I don't know because I'm hearing some stories about donors that are pushing things. But let's reopen that. More questions here. Has she attended any of the vigils for him? Is she planning to attend? Does she speak to Erica? When's the last time they spoke? Board member Eric Bolling, by the way, he's not a board member, but that would have been a good fact check for you, PBD, said that Charlie Kirk had a quiet breakup with Candace Owens after she got too far down the rabbit hole for him. Has there been any communication between, if there hasn't been any communication between the two for many years, it's made up. It's just all made up. And like I said, the reason that they're doing this is because they want us to stop investigating the death of Charlie Kirk. I am convinced this is a full-blown Fed operation. I'm hearing about the pressure that's even happening with planning this event. They're trying to make it seem like, oh my, how dare she? Did you attend a vigil? Except with anything. No, actually, I didn't attend a vigil. And nope, you're right. You got me. I was not invited to speak alongside President Trump and J.D. Vance on the stage with Tucker Carlson at a memorial event. What does this have to do with anything? The answer is it has to do with nothing. They're working on a narrative like they always do. They're coming in, they're squeezing, and they're trying to pretend that Charlie and I didn't speak for years. It could not be further from the truth, okay? Charlie and I never for a single second stopped being friends, ever. Never happened. They can't produce one shred of evidence to that effect. Nope, just donors. And the donors at Turning Point need to be investigated because what I'm hearing, like I said, from Turning Point sources is not good. And guess what? If it's gotta be me and you need to hate me forever, that's totally fine. On top of that, talk about a federal operation out of nowhere. Brigitte Macron just lies. I don't even know how they got this in the press. This is so dumb. Brigitte Macron comes out and says they have offered scientific evidence to the U.S. court to prove that Brigitte is a woman. That's what her lawyer says. Well, the lawyer's a liar because we haven't even started this case yet. So how could you have offered scientific proof to a court to prove you're a woman, especially because you're not suing me over the claim that I said you were born a man? You were born a man. Oh, I guess you're born a boy, a male is what I should say. You're born a male. And you've never sued anybody for making that statement. You sue for things around it. You're suing me because you're saying, well, you said I stole the identity from my sister. I'm not a thief. You've never sued anybody for the claim that you were born male. So I don't know what this is. Just like we're just going to all hound Candace to try to distract her from looking into Charlie Kirk's murder and assassination. But it's focusing me more. Because this is not normal. Like the amount of lying that's happening right now is because you don't think I'm strong enough to handle it and you're trying to break me. You're not going to break me, okay? I watched him catch a bullet in the throat and we're being lied to by everybody about who was involved, why it happened, and why you are attacking the people who are, the person rather, who is trying to investigate it. You're not a good friend, they say, if you investigate this. Now they're running the, how dare you get clicks for investigating it? What? This is my show. How dare you get clips for even talking about me talking about it? You morons. You guys think we're that stupid? How dare Candace get clicks as we get clicks off of Candace getting clicks? It's so asinine. You're so stupid. And the entire world is watching. And that's what's problematic. Left and right, we are realizing something more sinister happened. We're not taking the MAGA bait. The dad MAGA. He's been more MAGA than ever. One of the commenters pointed out, why would the dad suddenly be more MAGA than ever? Like, what happened recently? Like, we're in September. Like, what happened that someone would commit themselves further to Trump, more MAGA than ever? In fact, it's been kind of the opposite. People think we're occupied by Zionists. More MAGA people are going like, it seems like Trump has kind of given up on free speech and his administration seems to be controlled by Bibi Netanyahu. So that doesn't ring true either. And then it's like, oh, over here, the trans, neither. Left and right, we're paying attention and we're looking up at who rules over us, and it's not a pretty picture. I'm going to get to your guys' comments. Obviously, we've just covered a lot here. First, I'm going to tell you about Tax Network USA, because if you are stressed about back taxes, maybe you missed the April deadline or your books are a mess, you don't have to wait. The IRS is cracking down. The penalties add up fast. 5% per month, up to 25% just for not filing, but there is help. Tax Network USA can take the burden off your shoulders, and they can stop the spiral before it gets any worse. They have helped thousands of Americans. So whether you're an employee, a small business owner, or you haven't filed in years, they've seen everything and they know exactly how to clean it up. With direct access to powerful IRS programs and expert negotiators on your side, Tax Network USA knows how to help you win. You'll get a free consultation, and if you qualify, they may even be able to reduce or eliminate what you owe. And more importantly, they will help protect you from wage garnishments or bank levies. So don't wait for the next IRS letter. Call 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Candace, because you may have missed the tax deadline, but you have not run out of options. Let Tax Network USA help. Again, the number is 1-800-958-1000 or visit tnusa.com/Candace. Also, telling you about Home Title Lock, because if you are a homeowner, you should listen to this. The FBI has been warning homeowners about a type of real estate fraud that's on the rise, which is title theft. This type of theft does not happen by breaking down your doors and stealing your stuff. It happens with a one-page document with a forged signature that gets filed at the county. If your title, that's the legal record of ownership, gets transferred out of your name, Criminals are using your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your property, and you won't even know about it until you start getting collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock so that you can protect your equity. And find out today if you're already a victim. You can use my promo code Candace at HometitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, which is 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes. And if fraud occurs, their US-based restoration team will spend up to $1 million to fix it. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code Candace, or use the link below. Telling you guys also about Nimi Skincare, because for those of you that are wondering, you guys already know how I keep my skin looking healthy, clear, and glowing. My answer is simple: Nimi Skincare. If your skin is starting to show signs of aging, fine lines creeping in, skin starting to sag, a tired, uneven look, a loss of that youthful glow, then you need to try Nimi's anti-aging skincare line. Their products have worked wonders on me. I mean, Nimi's 3-step anti-aging routine is packed with powerful, clinically backed ingredients that work. This routine restores your skin barrier, it boosts collagen production, it reduces fine lines and wrinkles, it locks in moisture, and it brightens for a healthy glow. And here's what I love most. Not only do the products deliver results, but it's also proudly American made. Every formula is crafted right here in the USA, rivaling the best Korean skincare brands in quality while staying true to our values of faith, family, and freedom. Right now, Nimi is giving my listeners 15% off your order if you use code Candace15 at checkout. But this offer ends this weekend, so don't wait. Go to NimiSkincare.com today. Stock up on their 3-step anti-aging routine and see the results for yourself. Support a brand that shares your values and take care of your skin at the same time. Visit NimiSkincare.com, code Candace15 at checkout. All right, Steve Carrington, thank you for the $20. He writes that this is for the Ackman Fighting Fund. And but he won't sue because then he will get cross-examined and he won't risk it because perjury equals jail. I don't know, man. The fact that Brigitte is suing, this is what they do. Like I said, it's just what they do. You know, they've got people in their back pocket, lawyers, corrupt lawyers doing their bidding. I mean, they created the system and then they mock us for participating in the system. Like I told you, Bill Ackman at this Hamptons retreat, according to one of the attendees, told them that they shouldn't even aspire to own a home and they should just give money to stocks. Like, okay, I'm sure you own no homes. They just want to turn us all into slaves. Like, truly, that's what I believe about the billionaire class, of what they actually want out of us, which is just for us to work forever and to own absolutely nothing. Krista Young, thank you for the donation. Candace, something is not right, Krista writes. You are going to uncover the truth. They messed up and we are here for it. Charlie said once, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. We don't know, but we know, so do not stop asking questions. Yeah, there is a reason they're doing this. They want, like, oh, just not until there's this memorial thing in Arizona, which is not a funeral. It's a memorial event, okay? That is, by the way, in large part, from what I understand, being controlled by the White House. Trump is controlled by Zionists. So they're like baiting me here. Why would I be invited by anyone in Trump's Zionist administration as I am speaking about topics that I am speaking? It's common sense. They're not going to allow me to share the stage, right? This is, what was it, Michael Malice, am I getting the name right? When he was going on his rant, if you watch the rest of it, when he says something's not right, he says people who are close to Trump in the first administration cannot get close to him. He's like surrounded at this moment. Michael Savage, pardon. And he's telling the truth, okay? I feel like we're an occupied nation. It's got nothing to do. First off, the memorial is also an open event, so that is even crazy. But this is their sync line done, right? They're, oh my, well, are you speaking? Are you one of the 5 people that's speaking at this event? No, I'm not. And guess what? That's not going to stop me from looking into this and understanding what exactly is that happened. You're trying to make us move on because you know that you messed up. You know you messed up and it's got something to do with the clothing. That was the Fed mistake. And we're going to keep uncovering things. Lulu, thank you so much for the big donation. She writes, Candace, you stay strong. I believe Charlie is watching from heaven. I do too, and this is why it matters. And know if anyone can figure out the truth, that it is you. You have been placed in the refiner's fire. Luke 12:2-3. However, nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, or nothing concealed that will not be known or come out into the open. It feels that way right now. I really do. I believe that the devil overplayed his hand. The Charlie Kirk assassination, whatever it is, whatever truth we come to, it's going to explode, and there's going to be so many revelations about how this world really works. Principalities, rulers in dark places. The Bible tells us this, and it is correct. John Heinchel, thank you. Wow, these donations, by the way, are huge. Keep going, Candace. You got this. Christ is king indeed. Christ is truth, and truth is king because it is Christ. Cajun Pinier writes, praying for you and your family. Stay safe and keep on, warrior. Thank you so much for this donation. Brittany Watson writes, Candace, you are like a crime-fighting superhero solving all of the world's political crimes through investigative journalism. I believe you will be vindicated and proven right about the Macrons. Yeah, I've been telling the truth about that too. They better enjoy this break. Thank you for all of your hard work. No, instead they're like, everyone's attacking her, so we're just going to randomly try to lie here. You know, you're lying. You've been lying. Your whole political existence is a lie. And this all needs to be revealed and everything needs to come down. Jasmine writes, get justice for our brother in Christ. We are with you and we are listening. God is with you and your family. Keep going. Jasmine, these donations are, I've never had donations this big on YouTube. And I just want to thank all of you guys for that. 3 Diglets writes, I support Candace Owens. Thank you. It's just me. Free Palestine and the U.S. I agree. Amy Surley writes, God bless you and keep up the search for truth. Martin, did you see the book about Charlie's assassination on Amazon that was available the day before it happened? Praying for you and your family's safety. God bless you. Christ is king. Amazon issued a response, apparently. This is my producer's note, blaming it on technical issues for the incorrect date of the publication of the title. And Amazon removed the book. That's a weird excuse. It's a weird excuse. Like I said, we are looking into everything. There was also some artist who posted a song. He happens to be from Utah. And it was called like Charlie Kirk Dead at 31. And right when people started going, this guy looks like the person in the photo, suddenly the Fed said, no, never mind, we got him. It's Tyler Robinson. All lies will be revealed. All leads will be pursued. You can make me persona non grata. Okay. I'm happy with that. I'm very content because I'm locked in and I'm focused. Trevor Miller writes, something is wrong. It's time to unify as a country and fix this. Yes, I am calling on the left and the right to unify and to solve what happened on September 10th. Okay. All of us, left and right. Gene Machine writes, seriously, our last chance at making a real change to anything. Keep going, Candace. Thank you. Kristen writes, it's not right versus left. It's not black versus white. It's not gay versus straight. It is good versus evil and the truth versus lies. Yes, ma'am. Leslie writes, you are relentless, Candace. Do not let up. I won't. And I see you guys in the comments. They can put out what they want. I see you guys gang. Like, nope, watched it. Lies. I saw you guys, like, the PBD chat going crazy. Thank you for that. I don't know how they just allowed him to lie like that. It's such an easy thing that could have been debunked. But I'm built for this. Like, you get built different when you watch someone who you know very well, who you were very close to, who you built with, someone who was beside you when you were nobody. He was nobody. When you watch that person catch a bullet, you really start to comprehend the evil of this world, the evil that we are fighting, and we are only going to conquer this evil through truth. That's it. We got to wake up everybody's eyes at the exact same time. Khalid Muhammad writes, good luck with everything. Thank you. Cynthia Martinez writes, Candace, you are divinely protected, even more so after this horrifying loss. Charlie is smiling beside God's throne of grace. He is. You are wrapped in their protection, wisdom, and triumph. You inspire my family and I. Falalina writes, here's some Qatari funding for your God-sent mission. Falalina, are you in Qatar? Was it you? Always praying for you and your family's safety. In Jesus' almighty name, love from Montreal. Falalina, the Qatari. She's the single Qatari individual. Anyways, you guys know my real funding always comes from you guys. Thank you to everyone who has bought sweatshirts and hats and gear on our website and signed up. Just to be clear, the CIA stands for the Candace Intelligence Agency, which you see on the back of that, obviously, because we consider ourselves to be the decentralized intelligence agency because we get tips from you guys and we're willing to research. And I wish I had a bigger team. We're tiny, but it's enough. We're just going to keep this going and stay locked in and honor Charlie the best way. Charlie fought for the truth. Charlie fought for free speech. Charlie was not a fan of manipulation. And I am going to get to the bottom of why he lost his life and who was behind it. So stay tuned.